DJ PK, we're joined now by David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz. David, good morning.
You know, what a gift you two have. I mean, I wake up, I go through my day, and then all of a sudden, at 8:30 on Fridays, I feel better than I have felt at any point all week because I get time with DJ and PK. I mean, truly, a gift you give to people to be so uplifting, make people feel so happy. Incredible. Truly, truly angels on earth.
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I said, truly angels on earth.
In a previous segment, he pointed out he's a devil, but now he's an angel on earth.
Sun devil.
Well, that might be
Sun devil.
That actually might be very deep, symbolic knowledge of how the world truly works. Frankly,
There it
right
is.
there, if you want to get
You need guys like
fairly
me.
deep and philosophical.
An angel, yet a devil.
Yeah.
80 points at halftime. You were thinking, there's no way they're getting to 160. Something's got to happen. 52 in the second half. That was much better.
Yeah, I mean, they had a lights-out shooting night that, give them credit. I mean, Quinn's doing some really interesting things and running some good stuff, and they're really, really, really hard to guard, and they are truly, not to get like into an Atlanta controversy, but they're much harder.
There will be no Atlanta controversy. David will be cut off.
Devil or angel?
I believe he was about to make a point about not having Trey there, who can be a little ball dominant.
Well, they had a lot of trays last night.
They end up with a lot of trays instead of one tray.
And they were arresting Kristaps Porzingis. The guy needs a blow. I mean, he is freaking Cal Ripken.
Well, it's game 13, so you know what the heck. Were you about to make a point about not having Trey?
Well, I said something nice about Quinn's not having the phone disconnected. I guess you're not allowed to do that anymore. Quinn's running some interesting stuff where they're just getting into their offense really, really fast, and they're doing it from a lot of different angles and a lot of different places. And where if you have Trae Young, they're coming at you kind of from one spot. And it's difficult because Trae Young's great, but you know where they're attacking you from and how they're attacking you. And, you know, they had Lowry high up on the pick and roll with Nurkic trying to deal with a Lowry. You know, those are the guys we don't want. I mean, Nurkic, we have no choice, but those are two guys you don't want in space having to try to guard pick and rolls or trying to guard early actions. And it was just a really, really difficult defensive night, and the Jazz got better as the night went on. And really the Jazz, you know, Atlanta shot – at one point, Atlanta was shooting 54% from three with a lot of attempts, and the Jazz were still in contact. And you kind of knew the game was going to get back to even, and then the Jazz shot brilliantly, and it was 103-103. And frankly, we turned it over 3 straight possessions. All 3 were pretty careless, bad turnovers. And frankly, like, I'm not going youth on it. It was Nurkic, Markkanen, and George with 3 bad turnovers. So that was the game. We're within 1, have the basketball, and Nurk throws the same pass that had worked earlier in the game multiple times. I'm just not sure I'd throw it 5 minutes left in the game. It's a 1-point game to try to get Lowry on a backdoor cut without a lot of room. And then Lowry tries to skip over the top of the defense from the left corner to the right corner. Has more airtime than most flights these days. And then lastly, you know, Keontae ball fakes Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but then leaves the ball exposed, and now he takes the ball and takes it the other way, and the game's over. So that was the game, but boy, it was fun and exciting and played well, and you know, a lot of really, really good moments. But I think it is worth noting that the deal made had out youth at this one.
Yeah, that's fine. Point taken. I've come up with a new name for Ace Bailey. I'm calling him the Gondola because get on board and he will take you to the top.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it is. I will admit, it is almost hard right now to not just be Ace Bailey, Ace Bailey, Ace Bailey, Ace Bailey. And if we're just honest about it, like the entire this is so unfair. He's 19 years old, but like the well-being of the franchise and our future, and like, yeah, it's on Ace Bailey right now. It's gonna be on somebody else and Ace Bailey next year, but it's on Ace Bailey. Like, there's not another guy on this roster who we should ever expect to be better than a top 50 player in the NBA. I think that's, if someone does that, they really vaulted themselves into a new category. I think Keontae could be really good, but he also is still shooting 26% from three. So let's give him still some leeway to get better. But no, I mean, it's awesome. Like, the talent, we'll see. Like, we'll see. This is what it's all about. Like, you have a piece, and it's, this is how I feel. Like, this, I'm going to take a little side note on this one, but, like, this is, to me, this relates to the Luka trade to me. It's a little bit like New Orleans with Zion, and Ace Bailey's not perfect, right? I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of things that are bumps in the road. I'm sure, he's going to have to figure out off-court living. Like, there's just a lot. That's our job. Like, our job being the organization. The organization's job is to have a talent at this level, and then your job is to foster it into its maximum ability. Like, this is my point on the Nico Harrison, why he should have been fired the day he made the trade, is let's say every disgusting rumor that he spread about Luka Doncic is true, that he drinks too much, that he wasn't I don't care. He's the best offensive player this side of Nikola Jokic in the world. Like, I don't care if he does all those things. Your job as an organization is to find a way to get him better. Like, New Orleans' job with Zion Williamson has been to find a way to maximize the greatest talent in the entire league and figure out how to make it work. And New Orleans has failed at it. Like, and therefore their franchise is in disarray. This is our job for the next 5 to 10 years, is foster an environment where Ace Bailey thrives. And then we'll add another one, hopefully, in the offseason, and that's the job. But this is what it's all about. So, yes, it's Ace Bailey, and it's awesome. That pullback jumper the other day is awesome and highlight reel, but the pass to Markkanen on a basic, fundamental flare action that we call Ray was awesome. And the pass last night on the drive on the right baseline, those are just not plays people make. They're just not, and he's great. Not to mention his jumper couldn't have been smoother last night.
Yeah, he had it going on. Last couple games, man, since he moved in the starting lineup.
Right.
Can't argue with it.
And also the jumper last night, I'm going to give the coaches credit. He's shooting it. If you go back and look at video, he's shooting it a little differently. Like, they've worked with him. We're seeing the beginning of the impact of the fact that you get to play basketball for 6 hours every day. Like, the NCAA is one of the worst breeding grounds for basketball players to get better. They don't get better in college because coaches don't have enough time. The NCAA restricts how much they can practice. It's stupid. We don't do this to a violinist. We don't do it to a ballet. Like, we don't do it to anyone else. We just do it to athletes. Oh, you can't practice. Like, great. That's super, because he's going to make $300 million playing the sport. Maybe he should be able to practice all day. They don't, and so you get him in this environment where you have a coach established to him who's not out recruiting, and players get better. They get way better, and Ace's jumper looks different already.
We haven't seen a lot of Isaiah Collier, but we saw him for 25 minutes last night, and that was a lot of assists and a lot of layups. Okay, maybe one time a little optimistic on scoring and got swatted. But, my gosh, he was in the paint the whole night. Now, maybe that's a team that doesn't have a lot of rim protection, so it's a game that's built for him, and I get that. But what do you think of watching him in the little bit you've seen him?
I've been really impressed. Like, I'm a little hung up. I like my numbers and all my other stuff, and I'm all hung up on shooting. Okay, let's just talk about what he's great at, right? You can sit here and talk about all the things that are missing. No, this is like what he's great at. He's great at his tempo, his speed, his power, those are special skills. Those are elite level NBA skills. There's a reason why at a point in time he was the number one recruit in the country. I know it's kind of a silly thing, but like, there's a reason. Now, since then, as he elevates, the game asks more out of him, and I do think, I think he's taken like 2-3 attempts in 72 minutes. Like, that's a hard one to live by in this league at this point in time for a guard. So he's going to have to figure some things out still. But boy, you're right. His impact on the game is incredible. You're also right that Indiana without a center and Atlanta without Porzingis playing and without a center are two games back to back that match his gameplay, and fine. So maybe it's going to be that Isaiah Collier in certain nights of the year is a 30-minute-a-night player, and certain nights of the year he's a 14-minute-a-night player. But he impacts the game at a dramatic level, and it's pretty awesome. And I think he impacts how the other players play on the floor with him as well.
You can remember many years ago when we were talking, you would talk about, some guys are going to put up stats just because people have to put up stats on any given game, right? And so maybe they're a little misleading. And I'm going this with Markkanen. He's on a scoring explosion pretty much the whole year. He's had a few off games. But how much of that is his ability? And I know if he was on a better team, he probably wouldn't get as many FGAs. But I'm trying to figure out how much of it is empty, how much of it is real. And you've made this statement that when the Jazz are their next playoff team, he'll be on it. And so as he progresses, when we get to that point, which I have no doubt will come, what type of player he would be versus the type of player he is now.
So I think you have to take and realize that Lauri Markkanen is a 7'1" shooting guard. And then the area where he's not quite the same as the other shooting guards is he's going to create his offense through activity without the ball, not activity with the ball. So if you actually look at him, his shot diet is the exact same as Steph Curry, Donovan Mitchell, and Tyrese Maxey right now. He takes 10 threes a game. He takes like 11 twos a game, and he shoots they're the exact same. Go look at Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Maxey, Steph Curry. They're all taking the exact same amount of threes, the exact same amount of twos. They score the same amount of points a game. It's pretty crazy. That's what he is. And he's 7'1", and it's really amazing to watch. The one thing that he does not do, and the Jazz tried really hard last year and kind of derailed some of the stuff he does, was to try to see if he could just give him the ball and have him isolate and create. And so the way that Steph Curry, Tyrese Maxey, and Donovan Mitchell can bring the ball to the floor and then come off a high pick and create is just not his game. And so he's going to have to come off an off-ball screen. They're running way more pick and roll with him this year, both because he's good at it. He's gotten much better at catching the ball in the paint and making decisions or scoring around traffic, and because we don't have a big that can set a pick on the pick and roll anymore. And so that makes it – Nurkic can do it. He's just not very good at it, and he's not a good roller. So it's just not – the play now is a small pick and roll. A small switched onto Lowry and having Lowry slip into the lane and catch and make a play, and that's new. He did not used to do that, and it's helped him a great deal. And then Will Hardy last night was talking about how they watched him in Finland and how they used him, and they've gone to a little bit more of that stuff where Lowry really has gotten very good at catching in traffic around the basket and making plays. And so you're now seeing him run off-ball action, whether it's off double staggers, off the pick and roll, where not only is he playing to the three-point line, but he's also taking tight curls in the two-point range or coming off slips in the two-point range, and it's just changed his game. Geeky number for you, I think 78% of his two-point shots are assisted right now. It was 64% last year. Klay Thompson has never had a year of his career with 78% of his two-point shots assisted. You think like the ultimate catch and shoot guy. That's literally Lowry is playing without the bounce at all. And so he's getting all of his actions off of things, getting the ball. That does get hard late in games. It will be interesting to see as we play more close games. We really haven't played very many close games yet this year. Can we get Lowry the ball? That's always been the problem is late in games. Can you get Lowry the ball?
But the fact that teams don't dare switch because now – they're going to have to – if you're going to switch, you're going to have to put someone smaller on Markkanen. And if the Jazz get proficient at getting Markkanen to basically post up it's not old school Karl Malone back to the basket post up, but essentially get him within 3 or 4 feet of the hoop, and the smaller guy's got no chance. Mouse in the house, as Thurl Bailey likes to scream. Mouse in the house. Thurl always knew when he got a small guy on him, he was taking him right to the rim. Can the Jazz get teams now so the teams don't dare switch everything on the Jazz, as long as Markkanen's on the floor?
Well, Atlanta switched last night. Atlanta's actually a maintained team. Screens. That's not their defensive style, and they changed their defensive approach last night to because of Lowry. They decided he was too big and too versatile, and they decided to switch everything, and that's why you saw all those backdoor cuts early in the game from Lowry. That's the other thing, is he's reading the circumstances so well. He's now, it's been 3-4 years now where Lowry's the primary offensive player and coming off these sets, and now he reads the defense. And when you are switching, like, not to get too detailed, but if Lowry's coming from the bottom right corner of the court and on a route that's outside the three-point line to the top, and he's coming off a pick or two, by definition, if you switch it, the guy is on the top side of you. You now back cut, and you have a dunk or a layup to the basket if someone can find you. And he did that a bunch early last night because of their switching, read them perfectly, and had the answer. And last night, Atlanta broke their defensive schemes to be able to switch. It led to Lowry scoring 40-whatever points. So, to your point, yes, this is the answer if teams are switching. The league is allowing you to basically commit bodily harm on players off the ball right now. They have absolutely eliminated player movement, and basically you're allowed to just mug somebody all the time, which is kind of grotesque in my opinion. And I don't know why we're here, but I think we're here only because the offensive play, the league's allowing you to do it, and we scored 133 points last night. Atlanta scored 133, and so did Phoenix, and so did Toronto last night. So if we do allow this, I guess everyone will score 150, but because the players have just gotten too good. So it will be interesting. And when we play Oklahoma City, I don't think it'll work because Oklahoma City fouls you every single minute of every single moment of the game, and literally, in most states, it would be a crime how much contact they make with you.
All right, we'll leave it right there, David. We appreciate it as always. You're the man, and we'll hear you Sunday, Jazz and Bulls.
You are angels that bring uplifting energy to all of us, and I could not be more thankful for my time with you.
David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz. Kevin Graham's talking football at the top of the hour. Stay with us.